Make the next presentation of the evening, I'd like to call upon a House member who, along with Senators Lugar and Dodd and Congressman Mike Pence, created the Congressional Caucus on Press Freedom. Congressman Adam Schiff represents California's 29th District and has been extremely helpful to the NED's new media center, as I said, our newest initiative, and on whose advisory council he sits. It's my pleasure to introduce Congressman Adam Schiff.
Thank you very much. It's really an honor to join all of you here this evening. And I just want to say at the outset what great respect I have for the work of the journalists in the room here this evening and the great bravery and courage of our award winners this evening as well. We formed the Caucus on Press Freedom about a year and a half ago to explore ways that the Congress could be more instrumental in supporting a free press all over the globe. And just last month, we had a special order hour on the House floor highlighting just one of the many problem countries in the world. We spent the hour focused on the more than 12 journalists who've been murdered in Russia within the last several years. We also make an effort to meet with foreign journalists when we travel on congressional delegations. I just came back from a visit to Colombia, where we had a very good dialogue with Colombian journalists about the state of press freedom in Colombia. But we look forward to working with all of you to maximize the effectiveness of this relatively new caucus. Tonight I have the opportunity to recognize one of our award winners, and I'm very privileged to present the 2007 Democracy Award to Hisham Kassem, a leading voice for a free and independent press in Egypt. Mr. Kassem is the former vice president of the liberal opposition Hizb al-Ghad Tomorrow Party and has served as chairman of the Egyptian Organization for Human Rights. Hisham served until recently as publisher of Al-Masri Al-Yum, the Egyptian Today, Egypt's only independent daily paper. His goal for this paper was for it to be the newspaper of record in Egypt, free from government censors, objective in its reporting, and transparent in its ownership. Despite many obstacles, Mr. Kassem, as a human rights activist, a translator, and an independent journalist and publisher, has demonstrated extraordinary personal courage in this struggle for democracy. It is with great pleasure that I present the National Endowment for Democracy's 2007 Democracy Award to Mr. Hisham Kassem in recognition of his contributions to the future of democracy in Egypt.
Thank you, Congressman Schiff, for your kind words. Early last June, I was in South Africa to attend the annual Congress of the World Association of Newspapers. On the opening day of the opening ceremony, they had declared that the award of the Golden Pen was going to the Chinese journalist Chi Tao. Chi Tao had publicized a Chinese government directive asking journalists not to write about the upcoming anniversary of the Tiananmen Square. His mother was going to receive the award. She was not a politician or a journalist. I didn't expect her to make a speech, and so I did not put the earphones on. And then she stepped to the podium and she made a speech, and it was too late to get earphones, and I could not understand anything she was saying, and yet I found myself beginning to cry. I don't understand what happened, and I looked around, and most of the people in the room did not have earphones, and yet they were crying. And I was seized by a feeling of guilt. Okay? All those years I focused on media management as a way forward for independent media, and I felt I strayed from something I dedicated years of my life to, free independent press in its classical sense. And I went home, I went back to my hotel, and for my weekly column, I wrote an apology to Chitao, saying, I don't know how I did stray, and I owe you an apology lying there or languishing there in a Chinese jail, and a thank you note to his mother for the effect that speech of hers, which I later read the transcript and understood what she said, but it had that impact on me. Anyway, I go back home, and on Saturday, June 9, I pick up the paper. There's my column. I feel relieved, although I still have that feeling of guilt. And then I go to my email, and there is a message from Carl Gershman telling me that I have been selected by the NED to receive this award. It was like a message telling me, you've been forgiven. We forgive you, okay? You have confessed that you made a mistake, and we forgive you. Today, along with colleagues from Venezuela, Thailand, Russia, and myself from Egypt, we are being honored by the American people through this great organization, the National Endowment for Democracy. And it's because liberty is a universal value. It's not American, it's not Chinese, it's not Venezuelan, it's a universal value. And in turn, I would like to dedicate my prize to Chitao, who lies in a Chinese jail as we gather here. Thank you.